God can do by everything.
He can do anything. He's omnipotent, omnipresent. It's amazing.
But going back to
Real
what you
God.
said, I don't think you addressed what I said. You said God is everywhere.
Do you like that?
Omnipresent, that's what omnipresent
Okay,
means.
right, and I say, my hand is somewhere.
That's somewhere.
So this is God. But God is everywhere. This is a where. You understand? This is a location. So God is here.
It's true.
God is everywhere.
This is a location.
Yes or no?
His
But what do you
presence-
mean by everywhere?
Okay, His presence is everywhere. His presence is everywhere.
So God is here.
God is here.
In the form of what?
In the form of His Spirit. He is here.
So God is in time right now.
He-
God is
I
limited
said-
to time
I
right
said,
now.
I've answered that already.
No, you
No,
said
I'm saying it. Because you said it. So
I
God-
said-
Yeah, I'm saying it.
I said
So
he's...
I'm-
Okay, good.
Yeah.
I've already said that.
I know, exactly. That's why I said I'm not asking you. I'm repeating what you said.
What did I say?
You said God is inside and outside time.
Well, there we go.
Break, holiday.
It's strange, but okay.
Well, it's strange to you. If you know God,
No,
it's
it's strange
not
to reality.
No, to your reality.
No,
To your concept of reality.
No. Reality.
Reality.
itself.
I know the reality. The reality is that God is love and He loves you.
No.
That's the reality.
We'll cover that because God
Sorry,
created
you
hell.
I know I will come with that.
You said
There's
God
a different
created
type of
time.
God created hell,
Yeah.
and He
Created
created hell for the forces of darkness.
That He created.
That's
He
a
created
right.
for the forces of darkness, and anybody who wants to
So
follow the forces
he
of
works
darkness.
with the forces
what's
of
love
darkness.
about? What's love? From your perspective, what is loving about that? Genuinely asking, what's loving about being able to create anything, creating people,
He created people.
lovely.
Yeah.
I'm glad I'm here.
Yeah.
But also creating this eternal
Damnation.
damnation.
Yeah.
What's loving about it?
Okay. The loving
Not
is that,
logic or anything. Loving about it.
the love is that God is love and He loves you. You are created in His image. The love is that He gives you free will.
And we all created in his image.
Everybody's created. in
How?
the
Because
image
we
of
all
God.
look different.
That's wonderful. That's just physicality. So God is love and He loves everybody. All right. The fact that you and I have breath in our bodies is a gift from God. We are created by God, and God loves us. Eternity. Eternity is where God is. This is where we go when we leave. When we leave this body, that's where we go. We go into eternity. And God has stated that in eternity there is two places: either to be with Him forever, or to be apart from Him forever. And the choice is down to us. So the love is in the free will. We're not. You're not a robot.
But God is everywhere, so
I
God
love
is
the
in
way he
hell as
presents
well.
it.
The presence of God is in hell. Yes.
So you're not separate from God, ever.
No. The presence of God is in hell. Yes.
Yeah.
So the presence of God. That's why David wrote. David,
But then God.
That's why.
But then you're not separate
That's
from
what
God
David.
ever.
That's why
You just said
David.
you'd be-
Hold on.
You said you can choose to be in
You can be,
eternal
yeah,
heaven,
yeah.
basically, or eternal hell.
Yeah.
So with God or not with God, but you are with God in hell.
In the sense that His
Yeah, that's a
presence
great
is there,
point. God's in
but you
hell.
don't want to be in
Like-
hell. His presence is there. That's why David wrote in the Psalms, if I make my bed in hell, where can I go from you, God? Even if I make my bed in hell, you're there. Meaning that His presence is there. He's omnipresent, He's omnipotent. He knows everything. But God loves you and He doesn't want you to go to hell. That's why Jesus came. Jesus came so you wouldn't go to hell.
No, but do you not see that before you was born and I was born,
Yes.
from your perspective,
Yeah.
God knew exactly what you do.
Of
He knew
course.
that this moment would happen.
Of course, absolutely.
Before we were born.
Yes, indeed.
So actually, from your perspective, my perspective, yeah, we have free will. From God's perspective, this is all set up.
In a sense that God knows what we're going to do, yes, because He's omnipotent and He's omniscient. So He knows what choices we're going to make. And yes, He knew this time before He even created time, because that's the aspect of God that is outside of time. But nevertheless, that doesn't detract from the fact that you and I still have free will.
No, He does.
We're in the present. We're in the present.
No, but-
He knows what the outcome's going to be.
He knows it. He
All right?
How do you know he has
Well,
free
you
will?
decide.
No,
He doesn't decide.
I appreciate that.
You decide.
I appreciate that. That's why I said from our perspective, we have free will. 100%. But from God's perspective, who's all loving, He knows exactly what's going to
gonna
happen.
happen, yeah.
So from His
You
perspective,
still have the choice.
So how do
Well,
you
because
know?
of God, right? From His perspective, He set all of this up. Meaning the potential to go to hell, and
Yes.
some of us going to hell.
Yeah.
From God's perspective, He made it happen.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. So how is that love?
It is love. Because
It's a different love
here's
to
the
love that I know.
Here's the love.
Yeah.
Jesus came and He died. He was innocent and He died. He died for my sin.
Ain't Jesus God?
Let me finish. He died for my sin and He died for your sin and the sin of the world. He paid the price. He paid the penalty. God has already
God paid the
declared
price.
the penalty of sin for sin is death. So God
Penalty
came
for sin.
is death. That's the penalty. If
Jesus,
I park
without
over there,
sin,
if
you
I
don't-
park over there on the wrong there, they'll slap a ticket
Jesus
on my
is
car.
God.
Okay, that's the penalty. And he says there's a penalty.
He said
the
he's
penalty
God.
for sin.
Or his brethren said
The penalty for sin
I don't know.
is
I'm
death.
confused.
Here's the love. God came in the form of a man.
See?
Okay, in the form
God
of a
came in the
human
form of
being.
a man, so Jesus
And
is
so,
God.
and he died on that cross, and he paid that price for you and for me. This is the love. This is where the love is.
Okay, but even though that happened,
Okay.
according to you, I don't believe that. Even though that happened, still, from God's perspective, even that was set up that Jesus was going to come and die for our sins.
Yes, yeah.
So it's
Yeah,
not,
yeah,
it's
it
not
was set
actually
up.
something so wholesome, and he came. No, it's already going to happen anyway. From God's perspective.
Correct.
It doesn't.
He
it doesn't
foresaw the
it doesn't-
future.
It's not
Correct.
exactly. It's not something. It's not a saving grace. Because from our perspective, if I was Christian, yes, God came, saved me. Yes, I'm not taking a piss.
Okay. Yeah, that's okay. That's all right.
From our perspective, I
Yes.
understand that mine is limited.
Yeah.
I know that, right? But from God's perspective,
Yes.
He knew He's going to send the Son.
Yes.
The Son already knew He's going to be on the cross.
Yes.
Right?
He knew that.
He knew
it.
everything.
Yeah.
From your perspective.
Yeah.
So it's still set up. It's not love, because all that's part of God's story for us.
Yeah.
God's plan.
It's still,
God's plan.
And he's the dictator of that plan as well.
He knew. You're right in saying he knew the end. He knew that he was going to come. But nevertheless, Jesus still had to be in the presence, and he still had to suffer and die that death for us.
Only because he wanted to. Only because it wanted
I'm not sure
to.
if he
Only because it wanted
Yeah,
to.
because he wanted to. He wanted to.
So
He
they
let-
have to do it
Oh,
now.
no, he didn't. You're right. He didn't have
So
to.
why did you just say that then?
Okay, he laid down his life for us because this is where the love is.
But
This
not
is where the
really
question
love.
is. That
No,
his
but
life.
he
he
could
laid down
have
his
just
life.
forgave us.
No.
Didn't need to
No,
go for
he'd
that
already
drama.
Said, no, he'd already said the wages of sin is death. There has to be a death.
But from
There has to be a
No,
death.
'cause he's all
And
powerful.
And
You
that-
said he's all
and-
powerful.
And,
Loves
that's
blood.
all that was foreshadowed.
Is God all powerful?
That was foreshadowed in the Old Testament.
But is God all powerful?
Wait, hold on a second. Foreshadowed in the Old Testament, where the Jewish people put the blood of the lamb on the door, all right, as a sin offering
blood.
and a sin covering. He does love blood because blood.
God
covers
loves
us.
blood.
He loves blood because
that why he created the
Because
menstruation?
life is in the blood. You don't have
In and
blood.
of-
You
in
don't,
and
you
of
don't have
itself,
life.
it's- blood is-
You don't
Yeah,
have life.
yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, of course.
So he loves blood, and so the whole thing. And he said, I will lay down my life. That's why John, behold the Lamb of God who takes away the sin of the world. He laid down his life for you and for me. Yes, he knew he was going to do that. He still had to experience that and suffering. He had to experience that pain and then death itself.
Why?
Sorry.
Wait, let me finish.
Why did they
and
have
then
to? No, he wanted
death couldn't hold him because he's the only one who was without sin. That's why death.
sorry, are you suggesting
I didn't
that?
say.
That
I didn't say he loved
confused.
suffering.
He loves
I
sin.
said he
He
laid
loves
it.
to
He
lo-
took. He
Yeah,
took
he
some.
loves to
He
suffer.
took- He
Designed it
suffered
that
for
way.
you and for me. So go on.
Sorry, are you suggesting that your idea of the Son, Jesus, he actually suffered, so actually felt pain, actually...
Correct. Of course. Yeah.
So he wasn't divine in that moment.
Look, he's fully God and fully man.
But in that moment, you just said he suffered.
He suffered.
Fully
yeah.
God
Yeah,
and
fully man.
fully
So
man.
and fully man. So in
He
the
wasn't
sense that
all-powerful.
Jesus got tired, Jesus got hungry. When he was on the cross, when he was being beaten and tortured and whipped, then he felt that pain. So he felt it as a human being.
That's what I'm saying.
Is this
So-
just what you've been
wow.
told, or is this what you know for a fact?
This is what the Word of God
Say again?
tells us.
No, but can the word of God tell me?
Yeah.
What do you mean the word of God? You mean
This is
the
what the Bible
pain?
tells us.
The Bible.
Yeah, that's the Bible.
So do we have any evidence that the Bible's correct?
Well, going back to what we said earlier, this is why we need
Museum.
Where we can do look at the museum. That's one way of looking at the evidence for.
What's
for the
another
Bible.
way?
Another way of looking at the evidence for the Bible is prophecy. What does God say about the future?
I've heard that from the Hebrew Israelites before.
Okay.
Like-
So in the Old Testament predates Jesus. Yes.
Yes.
So there's no faith involved there. It's like saying that William Shakespeare predates us by approximately 400 years. There's no faith involved. It's a historical fact. Yes. Yes. Yes or no?
And we'll say that again.
William Shakespeare predates you and me, yes?
Okay, yeah.
Okay, by approximately 400 years.
Okay.
Okay, there's no faith involved there.
No.
Similarly with the Old Testament.
No, go on.
Similarly with the
I
Old
was going to go
Testament.
too deep.
Yeah, similar with the Old Testament. Yeah.
Yeah. There was a
So
man
the Old
called
Testament came
Shakespeare
before,
400 years ago. Okay.
Came before Jesus.
So,
Yeah.
Yeah, so the Old Testament is before Jesus.
Yep.
There's no faith involved there. It's just historical. Okay. So we look at prophecy. So it's not just
So
historical.
give us a prophecy. That
So
you can
look at prophecy. Prophecy, what the Old Testament says, and did Jesus fulfill any of these prophecies?
So give us an example.
So in the Old Testament, in the book of Isaiah, which is written about 500 years, 550 years before Christ, it says, the Lord himself will give you a sign. The virgin will conceive and give birth to a son. And his name shall be called Wonderful. His name, meaning his title, shall be called Wonderful Counselor, the Mighty God, the Everlasting Father, the Prince of Peace. That's, you said, that's one. Hold on,
Is that your evidence?
No. You asked me for. Sorry, thank you. You asked me for one example.
Yeah.
There are approximately 300 examples in the Old Testament messianic prophecies. That's one of them. That's one of them. Okay. The virgin is going to conceive and give birth to a son.
What do they mean by virgin?
Well, you know what a
Because
virgin
now but with these linguistic inconsistencies, and here's my problem with God, this all-powerful, all-known God, and I keep bringing it up every time I come to Speaker's Corner.
Okay.
How can an all-knowing, all-powerful, right, omnipresent, everywhere, just
All the
can do
omnis.
everything?
All the omnis.
All the omnis.
Why all the omnis?
Yeah, good.
Why would it give a message in a way that is fallible, that can be mistaken, that can be misinterpreted? Why would you do it on paper that can be destroyed and do you understand what I'm trying to say?
No.
Because you don't
I
understand
don't
what
understand
I'm
what he's
trying
trying to say.
Right.
It can't be destroyed. It
Why
hasn't been destroyed.
can't God relay the message in a more precise
Direct.
and definitive
How-
and direct manner? Because the linguistic interpretations and the misinterpretations causes all these different denominations
Lost
within the religion,
translation.
and it gets
Now
lost
you're
in
going off on a tangent.
No, he's
I've
not.
given you one example.
Yeah,
Prophecies
prophecy
in
based on linguistics.
Okay.
Because I've heard that the virginity argument doesn't even mean what it means to us. That virgin
Just
in
means
them
young
times, young woman.
Young woman. Yeah, young woman. And so if I'm speaking to somebody who believes that, it just means young woman.
Or not married.
Okay.
It could be not married as
Okay,
well.
wonderful.
So how do we
So-
understand?
okay, so for the
and
sake
why
of-
did God put that to us with such room for mistake? Is
Okay.
what I'm trying to say.
Even if I go along with that, just for the sake of argument, I go along with that. And say, yes, let's just say it's a young woman. So we read it and it says, the Lord himself is going to give you a sign. The young woman is going to conceive and give birth to a child.
Okay.
All right? His name is going to be called Wonderful, Counselor, the
Counselor.
Counselor,
Okay. Like a therapist.
Counselor, Wonderful Counselor, the Mighty God,
Okay.
the Everlasting Father, the
Okay.
Prince of Peace.
Okay.
That's very specific.
Okay.
Even if I go along with the young woman, that's very specific. A young woman's going to give birth
And so
to
now,
a child.
and so now you have to give me someone in the history books that has all those names.
How old is she?
Written down on the birth certificate.
In the Bible.
On the birth certificate.
In the Bible. Come
Yeah,
on.
but hold on.
No, we
But
believe-
the Bible is just someone writing it after.
Exactly, it's the same series.
We
That's
believe-
self-fulfilling prophecy.
we believe that Jesus is God, God in the flesh. All right? We believe that he's born of a virgin.
That's a belief,
Well,
yeah.
let's go. No, but we're looking at the prophecy that corroborates that.
But you just
Beforehand.
talked about the prophecy,
Yeah,
and there's
500
no
years.
way to substantiate that prophecy.
Okay, that the young woman is going to give birth to a child.
Named
And it's-
Counselor.
Okay.
Now show me a child
Wonderful-
named Counselor.
Wonderful Counselor.
Show me a child named Wonderful Counselor.
I say these are his titles. Did you hear me say that earlier
But
on?
you just said that that's what it would be
These are
called.
his
So how
ti-
would
yeah.
we substantiate?
These
we
are
would
his
look for
titles.
somebody
He might
who
say
has
titles.
someone who has Wonderful Counselor on the birth certificate.
Did this young
come on.
woman?
There
See, now-
probably are some counsellors who are wonderful.
Yeah. You see,
No, but-
no. This.
How else do we substantiate it?
Here. This point here. This is a fork in the road, a junction in the road. This is where you don't really want to know God.
No, I really
No,
want
you
to.
don't.
No, I want
no,
you.
you don't.
No, I want you.
you don't. Tell him.
Hold on, hold on.
This is the
I want
point.
you
No.
to bring-
No, no,
to
no, no,
show
no.
me.
No. This is where really.
Are you struggling?
No, you
Is that what it is?
you think you're
You're struggling.
You think you're
Go on, go
mocking
on.
me?
Let's
I don't
see.
care. I don't care.
No, I'm not mocking
No.
you. I think your
No.
I think your attempt
But no,
was weak.
But I'm telling you.
That's what I'm mocking. I'm
okay.
not saying you or your faith. I want you to show me.
You don't want to know what you were saying.
How do you know? How do you
he's
know what I
telling
know?
you, he's just telling
How do
you.
you know what I
No,
know?
no.
You're not disagreeing
And now we
with
are
him.
right to this in the
Okay,
first
hold on,
place.
hold on.
Disagree with him.
it makes no difference to me whether you believe or not. Okay, I'm just saying. I'm just saying it. This is the junction with you.
Yeah.
All right. This is where you don't really want to know God. This is where, at this point here.
I don't want to know.
No.
I'm
Let
just
me
asking
finish.
questions for the sake of it.
You're
Please let me
entitled
finish.
to.
Oh, one sec.
Please let me finish.
I know I am entitled
Yeah,
to.
of course.
So, like,
Okay, but please
so
let me
allow
finish.
my entitlement.
Yeah,
Go on.
And
Absolutely,
then you
yes.
can respond to that. I'm just sharing with you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, it's your opinion.
And I'm
Yeah, that's
enjoying
right.
the
Yeah,
issue,
you're right.
and I'm embracing it.
Well, good. I'm just saying, this is the point. For when anyone is serious and genuine and wants to seek God, then they're genuine and seeking it. But I'm saying at this junction here, this is when you go into mocking and entertaining the crowd.
Why? Because I said that there's no one of that description.
Let me finish and then respond.
Go on.
Like I
But
say, it makes no
that's
difference
not
to me.
fair.
Go on,
That's
go
not
home
fair.
tonight.
That's not fair.
When you believe in God,
Go
it
into
makes
your
no difference to
accusation.
me.
Not
Go into
fair.
your I'm
Not
judging
fair. That's
him.
not, no, he judging you.
Oh, that's
Let
not
me
fair.
just-
So
let me
go on,
just-
I'm mocking you because of what?
Okay. This is what.
Maybe.
You could say the same thing for him.
Let me hear him out. Let me hear the guy out.
He's in the crowds, man.
Let me hear the guy out. Go on, sorry. Go on, sorry.
I'm just saying.
So I'm mocking you because of what?
At this junction, here, this is where you go off and you're not serious about not really wanting to know God, okay? Because the crowd, when it comes down to it, the crowd won't be there. So I'm saying, whether you're mocking me or not mocking me, I'm saying if you're entertaining the crowd, when it comes down to it, when we leave this world, the crowd won't be there.
Okay.
We'll be by ourselves.
And if I'm
All
not
right?
mocking,
If you're not mocking, I'm saying be serious and be sincere with yourself, not with me.
how
Be
do I do
sincere.
that? Do I do
Be
it in the way
sincere.
you want me
No,
to?
no. I'm just saying be sincere. Because if you're saying, oh, that's just this and that's what, you need to be genuine and say, okay, I've given you one example. I'm not saying you have to believe that.
Being
like that.
skeptical. I don't agree with the
I'm not
example,
saying you
and so you're
I'm not
calling me
saying-
insincere.
I'm not saying
because your
You're judging him,
example
you're judging
was
him.
insuffice. No, I
No,
can
I
give you
agree
my
with you, I
perspective.
agree
It's
with
my
you.
perspective.
I agree with you.
I asked you for an example.
Yeah.
Your example was insufficient to me. You said that you gave me an example of a prophecy. I said, so how do we substantiate that prophecy?
Yeah.
You gave an example, and
honest,
you
it's a little bit
failed.
arrogant.
Did he
Why
convince
we
you?
don't take that as a gift?
Hold on.
As a gift.
I'm listening to you now.
Because you don't agree with
You're
what he was
entitled to
saying.
do.
Yeah, I don't agree with him,
And
so
then we
therefore
can
I'm
work
insincere.
Yeah,
Come
but
on,
that's
man.
disagreement
Come on, man. You just gotta try harder.
No, I don't.
can.
I don't at
Okay,
all.
but then you don't need to try harder.
No, of course I don't.
wanna do it.
I don't. Like I said, I'll go home tonight. It makes no difference to me whether you believe or not. You know, I just say God bless you. I'll say a little prayer for you, things like that.
I do like your attitude though.
And that's it.
Until the last part when you trying to say I'm mocking you and I do.
I don't feel like you're mocking you at all.
Yeah, I do.
No, I don't mind. I don't mind when people,
I'm not trying to mock him.
Okay.
Trust me.
Okay.
I want you to present to me.
But
the stuff that you presented is just not good enough to me, man. That's all.
okay. That's all right. That's all right. I'm merely pointing out to you that there are prophecies in the Old Testament which talk about the Messiah. Jesus has fulfilled all of those prophecies except for the ones that pertain to his second coming. Like, for example, born of a virgin. It tells you where he's going to be born. It says he's going to be born in another book in Micah says he's going to be born in Bethlehem. Out of you will come, though you're the smallest among the nations, out of you will come the ruler of the nations. It tells you where he's going to be born. It tells you he's going to be born of a virgin. It tells you that he's the suffering servant. That's in the book of Isaiah. And like I say, it's historical, then that predates Christ. That's historical. There's no faith involved there. We've established that already.
I believe you.
I'm just merely pointing out, look at the Messianic prophecies. And I'm saying, if you're genuine, so maybe I'm wrong in saying you're not, maybe I'm wrong. But I'm saying, if you are, 'cause you know your heart, you know if you're genuine. And if you are genuine,
If I am,
no, if you
yeah,
are genuine,
if I am, go on.
then go home and look at those prophecies for yourself. Not for me, not for anybody else here. Look at those prophecies for yourself. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
If I go and look at those prophecies, how would it show? How would it show? All right. See, I asked you the question about why would something that's all powerful and all knowing convey a message that's so indecisive and flawed? How do I get over that? That's my problem. How do I get over that?
Okay.
Well, first of all,
if
can
you
you
want-
tell us what, when you say indecisive and flawed, what examples do you have?
Well, like for example, the fact that me and you, I'm assuming everyone here, if we was going to present a message in us not being all powerful, with the technology that we have available to us at the moment, we would use methods that were more, I don't know, that were more practical than telling a dude or writing it down on a piece of paper for that person and giving it to one person to pass about. For the message to be Chinese whispered out of proportion, yeah? So if I was all powerful though, forget the technology that we've got available, I'd just put it in your head. I'd put it in the sky so everyone can see, like the Batman side. That's what I would do. Now are we going to be bickering and arguing about what the message is?
Clear.
That's all I'm saying. Because I would be all powerful. There's still room for bickering. There's less room. There's all right. So let me accept that. But I'm more powerful, so I can do anything I want to do. So if I want everybody to understand, surely I can make everybody understand. Unless I'm not powerful.
That's the point. You can do that, but then there comes a sense of compelling the conversation.
There is one
Again,
It's not God's intentional, from my belief, to compel you to believe in His message.
Really?
Yeah, He puts it out there. If you accept it, you accept it. If you don't like it, you reject it. And everyone's got to live their consequence after that.
Really? So we don't put it out there. Don't compel you to.
He's not.
But the punishment is like, well, I told you.
Oh yeah.
That don't make no sense.
It makes.
The punishment
What about the message as it stands now is unclear to you from the Christian point of view?
Well, I would just put it from all the perspectives. Around the world, everybody has different perspectives on what their God says. In many cases, their gods that they claim are separate are actually the same thing, right? I've heard Christians and Muslims say, well, it's the same God. And I heard today a Christian and Muslim say, well, no, it's a completely different God based on the name. Right? So everybody has different understandings. You have different denominations within Islam, different denominations within Christianity or Messianism or whatever you want to call it. We have Hinduism, we have all these other religions around the world.
So who do you follow?
Who do you follow, right? Ain't it God's fault that we're so confused? And it would be, right? It would be on purpose. And I've heard in Islam they say, in Christianity, that everything's written, so it's all by design, like what you were saying earlier. It's all
And
by
there are
design.
also different Bibles. The amount of Gospels in the Catholic Bible is different from the amount of Gospels in the Protestant Bible, and then you have the Ethiopian Orthodox Bible, which also has more books than
That's right.
King James.
They leave out books that they don't want to deal with.
So that's more of an issue of consistency.
Yeah, but why would God do that? Is my point.
But there's also an assumption that God has done that. Like God
Yeah,
is the one
that's
who
true.
But God designed
Different
everything.
Bible.
God's the author of life,
No,
right?
But think about it, that's a good point. You made the assumption that God did it. Could it be that man did it and he wasn't God?
I would accept that if God wasn't the author, like in Islam. The first one that was created was the pen, if I got that wrong. And then God wrote everything that was going to happen, so God's the author
See,
then.
that brings up another
Carl Sagan,
conversation is the writing, does it necessitate people being, does it necessitate compulsion? Or is it simply an account of what's going to go forward?
The thing is, from both your perspective, God knows everything from before you was born.
Yeah.
Right, from before you was born.
Yeah, yeah.
So
He's
you
just
are
accepted
compelled,
it.
you just don't realise it.
No, see, that I don't agree.
No.
Because
But
knowledge
but-
doesn't necessitate compulsion.
No,
Just
no,
because
but-
God knows how I'm going to, like if I come to this crossroad, whether I'm going to go left and right, doesn't mean I'm compelled to do the action.
From your perspective, no.
Even from God's perspective.
Of course,
No.
because you can't surprise God.
Yeah, but that doesn't. But surprising him doesn't necessitate again compulsion.
It does because
compulsion means that.
you know why? Because He created you.
So what does that mean?
I don't understand how that isn't enough. Because He created.
Yeah, He created
So
you.
He created you knowing,
He created you with free
knowing,
choice.
knowing. Well, the belief of free choice. Yeah, He created you with the belief of free choice.
Well, obviously it's good. That's the semantic, isn't it? So
No,
yeah.
but from my perspective.
Yeah. From his-
created you the belief of
The belief of free choice.
yeah, as in
he tricked you into
people
thinking you
believing
had
that
free
they
choice.
have, people believe they have free will, and people like myself suggest you don't have free will in the way that you believe in it. Yeah.
But
Yeah, so I don't understand how it's not obvious, and I'm not saying that to take the myth. I don't understand how it's not obvious that nothing exists. So this being creates this story, but this is a story right now from his perspective. It's even it's even written in your books that this is things like this can happen.
Yeah.
Right. But you had a choice in this story that was created before you.
Bro, I feel like there's a lot of double speak, or as far as I'm understanding.
Should I say it a different way?
Yeah.
No, sorry. Or put it this way, direct question, can God know something new?
can God learn is what he's saying.
Yeah.
God knows
God knows
everything.
all things,
Knows
so
everything.
there's not
Exactly, right? So from God's perspective, it knew everything that was
failures.
going to
It
happen.
knows everything.
Right.
I
Right.
agree with that.
It
Yeah,
knew
it
the
has knowledge
failures
of
and
all
everything.
things.
Knew the failures.
And this being created, of course, everything.
Yes, creates everything.
So from God's perspective, it knows everything that's going to happen. Why do you then believe you have a say in this matter?
Because I'm being told by the same person who created you that you have the choice, and I've given it to you. I have given you the ability that when you come to a certain avenue in your life, you can either go left, right, up, or down, right? And that decision is based on you and your faculty that I've given to you, right? You can either choose to use it for good, or you can choose to use it for evil, or you can it might not even be a good and evil choice. It might just be, am I going to have a jam sandwich today, or am I going to have
But that's still a part of the story, though. This apparent
Yeah, but-
choice is still a part of God's story from his perspective.
See, that's what I'm saying. It's not God's. When you say God's story, and I understand because it's your point of view that you're being compelled. When you say
I'm not
God,
saying it in such a negative way.
no, it might not be
But I'm
negative.
just saying.
What I'm saying is, for me,
I'm fine with that.
compulsion means I have no choice, which means, like I was trying to say the other day, if I have, no free choice, everything that I'm doing, you effectively saying to me that I am acting out, or basically I'm acting out a play.
Like a cartoon.
I'm
just doing what the animators
I'm
just
just
From your perspective, no. From God's perspective, yes.
From an objective perspective, not forget because my perspective is
it's-
the whole
it's subjective,
grand
that's
thing.
right,
It's not
yeah.
really what's important, but from God's objective, from the
Perspective.
Creator's standpoint, right?
We're just
Like
doing
I said to him, I would give up all theism if your point is to me that the Creator created me, right, placed in me no ability, right, for me to either do wrong or right, placed in me no ability for me to win or lose, and arbitrarily said to me, or arbitrarily said to us, you three are going to go to hell, you three are going to go to paradise, right? That doesn't make any sense
No,
from
no, you
all
do.
wise, from all powerful
No,
Creator's
you
perspective.
do have free will, but you believe in free will. That's what I'm saying. You believe you have free will.
No, we definitely have.
And you're supposed to believe that, and I'm supposed to believe that.
Yeah.
'Cause if we didn't, then like you say, it's like we're robots, what's the point of anything? I get that. But when you look at your direct experience, at the very next thought you have, can you sincerely say, I chose that thought? You can't even say you choose your heart to beat.
No, I don't choose my heart to beat.
Yeah, or
that's
even-
that's a mechanical thing that happens.
It's just
with
happening, right?
with
But even the
with brain,
thoughts
yeah.
that you, Isa, right?
Yeah.
Even the thoughts that you say are Isa's thoughts.
Yeah.
Like, tell me how you are choosing thoughts to go into the mind. Because
It's a
I'll
great
suggest,
question.
they're just there. You're observing thoughts.
Okay.
Not Isa
Yeah.
observing thoughts. Isa's a personality.
It's a bit-
Personality can
yeah,
change.
It's a bit philosophical. I'm not gonna lie. A lot of philosophical things go over my head.
No. I think it's a very direct thing, actually. I don't think it's
But
philosophical.
religion is very
Sorry, bro,
philosophical
one second,
anyway.
please. I knew you were gonna come here, but 1 second, yeah.
Because it's nice.
I don't
it's a
think
juicy
it's
conversation.
philosophical. It's your direct experience, right? That you have thoughts.
Yeah, I do have thoughts.
Of course you have
yeah.
thoughts.
Based on
And
based on my perceptions and what I've been taught with.
and the question,
yeah.
And
Go,
the question
sorry.
is, well, you already said you don't choose thoughts. You just said that, didn't you? Or am I
No,
imagining
no.
you? You didn't say that.
No.
Okay, so do you choose thoughts?
What believe I choose thoughts. Yeah.
Okay, you believe, and that
Yeah.
belief is also a thought that just appeared.
Yeah. But that doesn't come back.
No,
That doesn't
but-
negate free
yes,
will.
That would be, again, that would be circular because I'm saying I believe that I'm thinking. So if anything that comes into my mind would be as me thinking it.
So would
Of
we
course,
accept?
yes,
so
but
would we
you
accept that
believe-
we don't know?
You believe? No, hold on.
Don't know.
You believe, like you just said, I believe I'm thinking my thoughts.
Yeah,
Right? That experience of that thought,
yeah,
right, is one experience. You also have thoughts where, yeah, I know I'm choosing my thoughts. I know I'm choosing to make a sandwich. But it's all happening within the mind, same way.
right.
In we agree?
Yeah.
Memory as well. It's in mind.
Yeah.
Okay. So what is this mind?
Yeah.
What's the backdrop of this mind? What is this a mind appearing in?
Ask, what's the mind appearing?
You
in?
have thoughts.
Yes. I believe
Where
they're
did it-
God-given. I believe the ability to have thoughts is a God-given faculty.
Yeah,
So it's,
that's fine.
I've been given this engine.
But you say I. You see an
Yeah,
I.
I,
be
as in,
given.
yeah.
But what is this I?
That's you.
Oh,
You.
now we
person.
are
That's
going.
you. An individual. And the mind is broken down
my
to conscious and
thoughts, my
subconscious.
soul.
You're saying
But,
mine
yeah.
as in Isa.
As in my being. I don't know, like what.
have the ability
That's
to
what I'm saying.
think.
This is,
Asking.
no, I'm just saying. That's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. This the philosophical stuff goes above my head.
But
There's
you know
no
the thing
saying
is-
me and I and
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah, but the
I
thing
just,
is, bro,
I'm not that.
You
That's
are.
not no.
I promise you can
Bro,
understand it. I promise you can.
Bro,
right?
they're
But the
not-
thing
yeah,
is,
go
right?
on.
Because when we're talking about truth, we're here to talk about truth. You know Christianity is the truth. You know Islam's the truth, right?
Right.
So I'm coming with my thing.
Yeah.
So, oh, but we talk about that. No, it's over my head.
No, yeah, I'm
It's
saying,
valid, though.
I
know you've been humble. I know
I'm
you've
just
been
saying
Are
to
you
I
guys
don't
saying no?
understand
I know
Or
you've
you
been
guys
humble.
saying believe?
I know you've been humble.
Let's
I'm just saying.
are they saying they know or are they saying they
They say
believe?
they know, right?
No,
Don't have any doubt.
someone say they believe. And
No,
they-
no,
they-
no,
the word
they know
believe
they
is-
don't know, so they'll say they
The
believe.
word believe is put in there as a placeholder for the word no. Anyway, right?
Really?
Yeah, because
Because there's knowing something is believing.
listen, if I'm in doubt, if I had any doubt that Allah was my creator, I wouldn't be worshipping.
Exactly. I'm
Yeah,
sure saying
the
for
word
yourself.
the word believe is used as a placeholder because you understand that you're not a Muslim. So if I was talking to a Muslim,
Yeah.
I would say Allah created.
No, that makes
such and
sense.
such.
Yeah.
And
I'm
also,
the same.
there aren't actually many difference between believing and knowing. For example, someone might say, I believe to know, I believe how to get to Rome. And someone can say, I know how to get to Rome.
Yeah.
And both of them get to Rome.
No, but there's a big difference in the one saying they
No,
believe
but both of
and
them,
one knowing, right?
the point is that both of them get to Rome. You see what I'm saying? Someone says, I believe
No, that don't make
how
no
to get
sense.
to Rome, and someone says,
No,
I
that
know
don't
how
make
to
no
get
sense.
to Rome.
No. Knowing and
does.
believing
I
is
understand what
completely
you're saying,
different.
but it's not exactly.
Knowing and believing.
They are not
conflating
they are not they are not
They can be
complete.
too.
They are not
They
completely
can be.
different.
No, but they can
they're
be
not
similar.
completely different,
I'll
but
accept
they're
that.
You
Because-
believe, yeah, your parents are your parents, bro. Yeah. They could very well not
Not
be
be,
your
there you
parents,
go.
yeah.
So you
but
go-
for the more time, bro, I know my mum's my mum.
But if you did the DNA thing,
yeah, you'd come to it. Boom.
well, even then, yeah.
So
there's
that's-
certain
Well,
things
like
that
where
you
this
know.
is going, bro.
Yeah.
This is
But see,
going.
Yeah, I do like it. I do
but
like
see,
it. I do like it.
No, but see, that's where I halt myself because if we then start going
where you
into
help or
that,
hurt.
that's why I halt myself. That's why I stop myself. Right? Is what I perceive to be reality really reality? I have to
This is
just,
what I'm
I just have
saying.
to break
What's wrong
their.
with that question?
This is what I'm
Because so-
saying.
because then I stop functioning. Then
No, not
if I
true.
have to,
Not
listen,
true.
if I start questioning whether I'm actually seeing you, yeah, or
that's
whether
fine.
your mystic gas that my mind is forming tiger in front of me, or
Mystic
sorry, my
gas, I
brother,
like it. I
it's-
like it.
hallucination.
Tiger,
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 yeah,
Hallucination.
yeah. If it's just like, well, then what's the point of talking until I can actually gather and ascertain
That's the
what
that is
I'm
the
actually
point. That
experiencing?
is the point.
Many
To
people
experience and work
come
out.
away from society and following other people and look within themselves to find the truth. That's the point.
Yes.
But you want it
Yes.
quick. It sounds like
I'm
you
saying,
said I'm going to stop there.
saying, no, I'm
This-
saying,
this-
yeah.
this is where I understand it.
No, I'm
That's
saying,
what it sounds like.
okay, I cannot
nothing wrong with that, sorry.
provide any benefit, yeah, in a conversation where I am sure of all things. So in order for me to benefit the people that I'm talking to, I must establish what I'm saying actually has some value. Otherwise, I'm wasting your time.
Yeah, some
as
value.
I perceive it.
Some value.
No, you don't.
But it doesn't have to. It doesn't
Not
have to be
wasting time.
definitive, though.
We can talk about anything, man.
I know we can talk about anything.
Yeah,
what I'm
so
saying
Is it not the same?
Oh.
The fool talks about anything. Like the fool would have an opinion on everything.
Is that a saying or
what?
something? Sounds like it's a
What's
saying.
that?
This is the saying. The fool would have an opinion on everything.
It sounds like you're throwing some shade there.
Yeah, it really does. I didn't see like
I'm just
this
saying.
or moral or
I'm just saying
like.
you can't know everything. You can't, and if you were to comment on everything, you would be a fool because you can't know everything.
And I suppose that's
You
what
can't
we're
know
saying,
everything.
then, really, because we're trying
That's
to say
literally
you
true.
can't
Yeah,
know
can't
these
know
things. They are
But
just
you can know what
beliefs.
you know.
No,
And
but
there's
honestly,
nothing, I don't think there's
but
anything wrong
honestly,
with that.
If you read into beliefs in knowledge or epistemology, it's quite blurred.
Yeah,
Because what I said to you, you didn't really pay attention to it. I said there's two people in Paris, okay?
Oh, I paid attention, but go
and,
for it again.
both
Go
of
for
them
it
are
again.
saying, I know how to get
the
to
Rome.
Rome.
No,
And the
yeah,
other one says,
I
I believe to get to Rome. Both get to Rome.
There can be a
So what I
crossover.
says
There's a
I
crossover.
believe,
Yeah.
just like when I came to Speaker's Corner one time when I bought a bag of Monday, and I says, oh yeah, I know the way to Speaker's Corner. And I was walking for an hour, right? I believe, but I didn't know. But at the same time, but when I park over there, I know where
There
it
can
is.
be a crossover.
Yeah?
There can
When
be
I
a
park
crossover.
there, I know.
All I'm
Okay.
saying
There's
is,
a difference.
It can be blurred. It can be blurred.
Bro, I understand,
can
but
be-
they are
can be
still
made.
different in a sense that, let's say we're all going on a trip.
feel like
to
I need to
Rome,
blow
right?
my nose, man.
There's two people. One person says, I believe I know how to get to Rome. One person says, I know. Who are we going to go with?
You're gonna go with I know.
No, but-
Even though the
but
person,
something
even though the person who knows might not actually know.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah,
It's true.
but okay.
You have to believe it though. It's not merely mentioning it. That's not the point I'm making. I'm saying
I have to believe that he knows.
intentional. You have to have the intention in the belief. It has to be deep rooted in you in order for it to manifest. Right?
No, you can know from experience.
No, I'm not saying you talk about not having believe in. You can't just say I believe it and it's not manifested in or deep hearted in,
No,
in your soul.
no, I'm not following, sorry.
I'm saying you said, oh, there's a person who can say I believe.
Yeah.
But that's just the saying, isn't it? You can say anything. You
Yeah,
can say, I'm
people
a
loosely
millionaire.
say,
I
yeah,
know, but
people
But
loosely say
believe
things.
is beyond just the action of the muscles saying.
No, but what I
believe.
literally said was
Believe
who would
it's
we
something
follow?
that
The person who
within-
says I know I can get to Rome,
Yeah.
or the person who says I believe I can get
Yeah.
to Rome? Who
The
would you
point,
follow?
the point is both. it's
Personally,
not
I'll do my own
both-
thing. I ain't following none
Both
of you.
reach
Nah, you go with the one who knows.
Both
I ain't following no.
Sorry.
The point is both of them reach Rome. That's what the
In your analogy.
No,
Yeah.
no.
Okay, let's leave it alone.
No, because I give you the example.
Are we saying that we know nothing? Because my point is, yeah, and this is how I live my life, yeah. Most of the things that we take daily to be factual actually have a margin of error that you can make. But like I'm saying, like even the belief that your parents are your parents could all be the Truman Show, bro, and someone else's paradigm. But if I now start, questioning, if I cut my artery, will I bleed out and die? If I don't have a left ventricle, or if it gets blocked, if I start doubting everything, right? Where do I end up? Is there any way I can be productive to my own life and society?
Well, I can show you from experience. Right? I'm not cutting my arms. I'm not checking if my left ventricle is going to mess me up or not. Yeah, but I've done this so-called search. So I'm still productive in my life. I can still bring, what can I say, something to a conversation.
Yeah. Have you undone every single facet of your former life before you came to this understanding?
What do you mean by that?
I
know what he means. I know what he means.
He's gone
Former
on a journey
understanding,
and
former
he's grown,
understanding,
Yeah, right. So right now you can see I'm kind of questioning whether this is it reality or is it not reality.
Yeah.
When you were at that stage, did you question everything that you used to think was true?
No, it's not. It wasn't about questioning everything in the so-called outside world. It's just going to the only source that I have, which is me. Right? I am my direct experience.
Right.
The world appears to me.
Yes.
I can't see through your eyes. So all I have is myself. So it's the whole so-called self-inquiry, the internal questioning about, first of all, like I said to you, do I actually choose my thoughts? I have to be sincere with myself. I'm not winning anything by this. I just want to know the truth.
Yeah.
Do I sincerely choose thoughts? And you come to see, no, I don't. They just come.
But then,
Can you
then-
define that? Because I don't understand that. I don't.
Oh, sorry.
I kind of get.
What do you mean choosing thoughts?
Oh, in the sense that there's a select. Okay, right now there's, I could say, a selection of people because I was real one, right?
Yeah.
I don't have to choose to look to you. I can look at you, right? I can choose to look there. But this selection is present. It's present for me to make a choice. Thoughts, that's in my experience. There's no selection of thoughts. Then I choose one. It's that thought, then that thought, then that thought. So I suggest that it's not a choosing in the way that we say choosing happens. It appears. So if I'm seeing that thoughts just appear, Then the question is, who am I?
Is that the case?
Well,
though?
what I do know, well, I can say in my experience, look
Yeah.
for yourself.
Yeah.
That's all one can do.
Yeah.
So coming to see that, and I always try to debunk what I think. Always try to
So
debunk
you
what I
talking
think.
about intuitive thoughts, right?
wait.
Intuitive
Any
thoughts.
thought?
Sorry,
Literally
you
any
said
thought.
you try to debunk what you think.
Yeah.
But the
Meaning-
difference,
question yourself.
but the difference between you and them is they don't need to debunk what they think because they know that what they
I think
think
you talk about
about
intuitive thoughts.
the creator is the truth.
Right.
So they're not going to continue questioning that,
That could be
A
a
problem,
problem.
yeah.
That could be a problem.
which is why you will always like get to an impasse
Of
with
course.
them.
I'm just saying why not.
See, not
That can be a problem.
Yeah. So
Look,
I'm
when you
just saying,
already
it's
think
not
you
just
know,
better.
that can be a problem. That's why I get where he's coming from, because he's saying he's always testing it. He's always.
was.
You're saying
I'll come
if you
back.
keep doing that, you'll go down a rabbit hole.
I'm saying you'll unravel yourself, and then you have no
I
standard.
know you will
and
unlove
then-
yourself, but this
Yeah.
this is the.
But it can
I
lead
love that
some-
you
it
said
can
that,
lead some.
right? Because this is the thing. You have to be brave. You have to be brave to seek so-called inside you and find
true.
out that you are not who you thought you are.
Right.
You have to be brave because you will unravel the so-called
Yeah.
ego. You will end up seeing, I suggest, I like to say will,
Yeah.
will,
No.
see that you've never been who you thought you was, and that's scary for people. So I'm just putting it on the
They
table.
don't have to be brave because Jesus has already done that for him.
No,
so he already
no.
knows what he is, so he doesn't have to.
So you're a bit
No,
like
I'm-
how
all
I'm-
believes he
no.
knows.
He believes
Yeah, but
it.
I'm
Believes he
just
knows.
saying.
People can believe
knows
stuff
that.
that
Bro,
isn't actually
I
true.
just,
No, I know.
something
He knows,
something
he
that
knows.
No, he believes.
No, I know.
To him, he
I
knows.
observed. I might be wrong.
But in reality, he believes.
You mentioned the I and the self and your own
experienced
experience, but
I've
I'd love to know
As
that
a
story.
human being,
I'd
I
love
believe
that-
you have a
that
shared
might be for another
experience.
time.
I've seen
So when you
Jesus
said,
heal people.
you know,
Amazing.
you're
He's seen Jesus heal people.
Yeah.
like if me and Dawood are watching
There we go.
YouTube,
Yeah.
we can confer as to see am I
I don't
seeing
know
the
what to
same
say
thing
to it. I
you're
don't know what to
seeing?
say
You
to
don't
that.
And
have
we
to say
can
anything whatsoever.
amalgamate our
Record
experiences
it next time.
and
Record
pretty
it
much
now.
establish
No,
or try to
record Jesus
establish
healing someone.
No, I wanna say,
an
I've seen
objective
him. I've seen him.
shared
People being
experience.
healed by Jesus.
I understand.
Oh, you mean
Is there
by the
such a
power
thing?
of Jesus?
I would say no.
Yeah.
There's no objective shared
Not,
reality.
not in a sense of you are perceiving that bite, he's perceiving the bite, and you're perceiving it in an objective way because obviously you have different minds,
Yeah.
right? Therefore, different experiences.
Yeah.
But what I was alluding to, like I said from earlier, in the same way there's space around our bodies right now.
Yeah.
It precipitates the whole universe. You wouldn't say space moves. Like it's just a no thingness. We call it space, right? If I move, space didn't move. Unless I say, oh, maybe, but it didn't move, right?
As far as we know, yeah.
Yeah, okay. You know,
Well, no,
yeah,
but
yeah, I know,
see,
I know.
this is the thing though, because we're talking about
Oh, please, can I
ifs and
finish?
buts. Go on, sorry.
You know how the yeah,
go on,
right?
go on.
I think I know he was going to go. So,
But yeah, okay.
The space thing, the
I've
space
answered
thing.
him though.
Yeah,
for
the
that.
space thing.
As far as we know, thing. Right. The so-called space is nothingness.
Right.
To use a word, right? But the things, the objects are obviously real. They're moving. They're doing things,
Yeah.
right? So even though we have the experience of being separate, so-called from space's perspective, there is no separation. We're all in space. We call it the whole universe, all one, as we say. So in terms of the mind, you two watching YouTube.
So they are shared consciousness.
So I might be answering that right now.
Yeah.
So in terms of you two watching YouTube and having different perspective, yeah, that's the experience. I have my perspective, you have yours.
Yeah.
You can't deny experience it. You know, it's experience, right? But the backdrop that the mind is appearing in, that I suggest you can't find. You can't say, oh yeah, I can see what's behind the mind, right? That's still the mind saying that, right? But that's nothingness, again, awareness, right, I often use. I would suggest that isn't different from as the backdrop of your mind and my mind.
I agree.
Everyone's mind.
I agree to an extent, yeah.
So from that perspective,
But who created that?
We would say ruh. We would say ruh.
Where does it come
comes
from?
the
I would
same-
suggest
Where does it come
comes
from?
from the
I would
same
suggest
place.
there's absolutely no such thing as creation in the ultimate sense. There's always something.
What do you mean?
Even that, even what we call nothingness, obviously, actually, is a concept within something, life.
That doesn't make sense.
But if I say that there's nothingness, I have to be alive to say it. I'm alive right now, yeah, and I'm saying there's
Give me
nothing.
an
But
example.
it's a
of
concept.
nothing.
No, that's what
That's-
I'm
I was
saying.
gonna go there.
But then
I was
I'm
gonna go
saying
Kant
that
would disagree
there
with
is
you.
no-
He would say
Nothingness-
that thing in
nothing-
itself.
nothing-
Nothingness
concept,
is a concept.
Talks
Nothing that
about
exists,
being
yeah.
in
We have
itself.
something. There's nothing.
I'm agreeing, but nothing does exist as a concept.
So
We're saying
it's-
prior to the
yeah,
existence of something, there was a nothing.
We don't
the
know
fact
that.
that
We
we
don't
are
know that.
here-
We don't know
Okay,
that.
you exist.
They could
yeah?
have always
Whichever
been
way
so-
you
The creator
exist,
knows.
right?
Huh?
The creator knows. Yeah,
So
there was
must be
people. The creator's always
potential
been.
If there's a
to
creator,
exist. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here.
then it may not.
sorry, I'm sorry.
There
Just never
definitely
heard
is a creator.
something.
Yeah.
And it's, we have existence and non-existence.
No,
Which part?
I want to say there's no non-existent.
No non-existence.
Non-existence.
That's what you were just saying.
He's saying there is non-existent.
No, you started with there is no non-existence.
There's
And you said nothing.
existence. There's
So I
something.
should have cut you there.
There is something, and then God created something from nothing.
Absolutely.
That's people's belief,
Yeah.
but I
That's right.
I don't subscribe.
But that's what
That's
religious
right,
people
that's
say
right.
can't happen. But,
Yeah, no, it can happen.
But God can do it.
God can do it.
Special.
Other
God
than
can
that,
do it.
it can't.
Very
yeah,
special.
That's what I'm saying.
Very
But the thing
special.
is, it's the same
Out
because
of nothing, He created the world.
So out of nothing, He
Nothing.
created the
He
world.
created everything.
When
Yeah,
did
we
he,
believe
where
that.
did He get this
Being it is.
something
But
from?
nothing
it's like
He
in a
just
location.
spoke it into existence.
That
He
makes
said,
no
"Let there be."
sense.
It makes sense to me.
How?
It makes sense to me.
Can you see how it don't
We're
make
gonna-
sense to other
Is that a
people?
concept?
makes
It's not about
sense
it's
to
not
me.
about sense. It's about the fact that you don't have that experience, and so as you don't have that experience, or you've not observed something like it, you cannot fathom how that could be. That doesn't mean it doesn't make
But
sense.
who has had that
No, for
experience?
him,
No, no.
But who
we're-
has
but
had
we're-
that
we're-
experience?
We're saying nobody has had that experience.
Well,
But
he
as a-
hasn't then, so how can he say it?
Because as a theist, he believed that he's received information from the person who is the author of that, bringing something out of nothing.
Yeah, we go to belief again.
And
And that's
but
fair.
yeah, but
That's
I've also
fair.
experienced.
But if he's trying to
I've
convey
also
a message,
experienced God doing
and we're
the
trying to
supernatural.
understand that, you can understand that we may not understand that by him saying things like that.
You have a
Spoke it
belief.
in, do you know what I mean? It's a bit weird.
Right, but that's
and
why.
that
It doesn't matter.
It's a bit weird.
But-
It doesn't
but-
matter
No
about weirdness.
disrespect, no
That's okay.
disrespect.
It doesn't matter about
But it just seems a bit for someone to say
Reality.
spoken because we're looking from a.
It's weird to me when
So
people
I
say there is no
I
God.
do.
That's
I'm
weird
saying
to me.
our
I
realities
did
are
it.
small, bro.
Yes.
Our lifetimes
It might not
are a drop in
Because
the
you talk
ocean
a lot about
in
perception.
comparison to.
And
I
you talk about
agree.
the
So
thing-
what are
so-
you coming with?
So
When you say
right, so we're
I know
coming
of him,
with,
but I don't really know
right,
about
a
the
whole
thing
line
itself.
of
Yeah,
exactly.
men,
The thing
yeah,
itself.
human beings,
He
yeah,
believes
who have
that
brought
objects,
forth
space,
things
time,
of miraculous nature.
can exist in itself.
They are truthful in their
I said it.
nature,
It's a real shame.
right? And they
So
presented this
you're
information in the
following
form of
that
religious
because
books,
that's what he said.
in terms of their creeds, right? In terms of their feats. You read about people like Solomon and David and the things that they achieved, depending on how you view the Bible or the Quran, whether it's
Sorry,
historical
I don't
or
say.
not.
There's something.
Just if you
It's
just
an interesting debate
Prophet
going on
Muhammad.
between those two schools.
being someone who, in his lifetime, had what they say he had very small means to achieve his goal.
Okay.
And when he set out halfway through, he was saying to people, for example, he got kicked out of Mecca. In the 48th chapter, he says, or the Quran says to him, verily, you will enter the place where you were kicked out from, right, harmed in, a place where you had no authority. We're going to return you back to this place safely, right, without anything happening to you. Aminin, you're going to be in safety and security, right? This was told, supposedly, if we believe in history, maybe 10 years before the event. 10 years later, the event comes to pass.
Okay. Hence
Right?
prophecy, like what you was talking about earlier.
Right, but prophecy is not the only thing though, because I don't want to go down the route of prophecy.
I know that is a different route because I will argue with that.
No.
Because prophecy can be prophecy.
Yeah,
Pro-
but
prophecy
someone
of
can
the
prophesy
time
and
is
it might not be, could be imposter.
also you have
also.
self-fulfilling prophecy.
Right.
Also you have people that write stuff after, because what we're now, we're 1400 years after. Someone could have wrote the story 200 years after, and we
yeah, it
would have known it was. It wasn't before.
Yeah.
So that again, that's another belief.
I know. So the thing
It's
is,
another
yeah,
belief.
like the conversation we were having before is, the religious conversation has to be had once we're on the same sort of playing ground in terms of premise. If we're not on the same page, there's not really much I can say to
No,
you
you're
to,
right,
to
you're
convince
right.
you of a creator.
Supernatural claims. Muhammad went into
Well, what's
the-
supernatural?
The Muhammad part's not
Define
supernatural.
supernatural.
Well,
Yeah, define supernatural. What's supernatural?
outside of nature.
Yeah, what does that actually mean? Elaborate.
That which we do not know nothing about. We know nothing about supernatural.
So what you don't know about
outside of physics.
What you don't know about is supernatural.
No, supernatural.
Yeah.
To my understanding,
Yeah.
is that which is
I'm gonna
outside
cut
of
down
physics.
Tiger's little path here now.
Is that which is outside of physics that we have no explanation. We can't talk about it because we don't know anything. We can't describe anything that's outside of physics.
But that doesn't mean it doesn't.
That's why we can't describe
doesn't mean
it's
it's not
God.
true.
Depends what kind of physics.
Of course, you're right.
say it
I just says we
wasn't
can't
true.
talk about
That's
it.
great.
Have
Yeah.
human beings,
Wonderful.
One sec.
Have you seen an angel?
I may have done.
bro? People have seen loads of
I may have
things,
done.
bro.
I may have
people
done.
seen loads
People
of
have
I
seen
may have
loads
done.
of
Or at least
So,
40
the
minds.
mind-
Not that I'm
Let them get this out of the
consciously aware of.
Have you seen an angel? You may have.
I may have done.
You're in doubt.
No, I'm not. I'm saying not
May.
not consciously, but I may have. For all I know,
Or unconsciously.
I just wanted to
for
make.
all
I just wanted to make.
I
the
may
point about
have seen an angel.
supernatural, yeah.
I'm pretty sure I've seen lots of angels.
Human-
I'm pretty sure, but I couldn't say 100%.
Human beings, cannot possibly claim that they've encompassed all knowledge of what is natural, right? So the claim that something is supernatural is also, for me, a baseless claim.
I
as
agree.
well,
I
right?
completely agree with that.
Unless someone has an objective means and able to establish that such a thing is supernatural and
Yeah.
cannot,
Yeah,
then,
I'm saying.
then
So
it's not
that's
what
why
they're
God to
saying,
me
though.
would be natural.
Because an angel is a supernatural thing.
I'm saying based on what?
The way they describe it,
Based on what is it supernatural?
Muhammad went
perception.
into the cave and saw something supernatural.
On
I
what
don't think they
basis
describe
was
it
it
as
supernatural?
yeah, they don't describe it. as
Angel.
Again, I
He's
can't
right,
make
he's
that.
right, he's
Oh,
right.
what he's saying
You're
is,
right, you're right.
the description
claim
that they
is,
give-
He went to a cave and an angel came to him and dictated what they now call
You're
the
saying
Quran.
angels
That's what they
supernatural
say.
because of your own limited knowledge of what is natural.
I've never seen an angel.
Right, so then your basis for supernatural is something that you have not witnessed, which is on the objective field. It means nothing. The fact that you haven't seen an angel doesn't mean an angel is something supernatural. The fact that few
That's
people
true.
have seen an angel does not necessitate that angels are supernatural.
Can you define an angel?
I can define an angel.
On that note, brothers, I've got to go, man. But it's good building, bro. We're gonna try that.
It's just getting
Tiger.
interesting in
I know.
life.
Yo, next week we talk about
You
thoughts.
moved out a good point there.
I think you're onto something, but I think we have to categorize thoughts because there's different types of thoughts. Right? Yeah, and then but you're onto something there. I think.
An
An angel.
is a-
What can you? The definition
An
of an
angel is a spirit. A spirit.
Whoa.
Okay,
Can we
hold on.
break that down?
Break it down.
What is a spirit?
A spirit is a being from another dimension, from the spirit realm. So an angel is a spirit that is a servant of God. That's what an angel is.
From another dimension
From
and a
another
servant.
dimension. From another dimension. Even physicists talk about other dimensions now.
Like a butler.
Even physicists talk about today. They talk about how many dimensions there are.
you're right with the dimensions.
Numerous
Yeah.
dimensions.
Yeah.
And so it's from another dimension. What we call in biblical language the spirit realm.
Do we have any
But
evidence of
that's
this?
just from another dimension. Like I say, even physicists speak about other dimensions.
Yeah, we have evidence of different dimensions.
Quantum physics talks about different dimensions.
But-
it says at least 10 dimensions. So go on.
I think it's about 12. Yeah, you're right. It's about 12. Yeah, it's about 12.
Well, maybe 12.
As far
There
as
might
we
be
know.
12.
And is that where the angels live?
Well, they live in another dimension.
What do you mean by
But how do we know that? No, dimensions are. What he's just talking
Time,
about.
space.
No. Dimension
Yeah.
is outside what we talk about space,
we live
time,
in a
and matter.
third dimension
Outside
in terms
space, time, and matter.
Oh, so
it's from
it's the same
another
level, but
dimension,
different dimensions.
another realm. Yeah, that's
Yes,
what an angel
like,
is. A being.
Have we been to this realm?
How would I explain?
Like
Some
thoughts
people have been to
will
this
be a
realm,
dimension.
but angels
what?
come to
The
this
mind
realm.
will be a dimension.
They come to this realm. They come to
just
this
like
realm, and they can come
2D,
in the
3D,
form of human
They're
beings.
dimensions. That's what it is.
I'm sorry, say that
For
again.
these,
They can come in the form
They
of
exist,
human
but we
beings.
can't see.
That's why when you asked
So,
me,
for
have I
example,
seen an angel?
something that
That's why I
exists on a
say
flat
to you,
plane
Yeah.
that can't
that's
climb.
why I say to you, go on.
That other shelf. I tried to explain it last time, but if something can't climb onto another shelf, that shelf would be all right. Then let me try and put it this way. A desk is, I think, is that 2 dimension? Yeah, because you can put paperwork on it. Once you put a shelf on there, you've now made a 3rd dimension. It's like
Height,
roads.
depth.
Where as soon as you make a tunnel or what's the road called where that goes over the flyover. Now that's a third dimension. So you can make the roads wider, which will be two-dimensional, or you can put them
Heights.
multi-layer. Yeah. Now that makes it third dimension. So a fourth dimension will be another level that we yet don't understand. Yeah. Time
Space.
or something.
So time is another dimension.
I don't.
Yeah. Fourth
I
dimension.
can't.
So what's the fifth dimension?
Don't know.
But how
You'd
do
have to
you know
Google that
there's a fifth
shit. You'd have to Google it. But what my mum's saying is, we're not saying he's wrong about the dimensions. He's right about that. But
the
how
thing
does he
is-
know? How does he know beings come
dimension?
from?
No, but the thing is, what I was going to say.
I mean, how does he know it's a bottle?
But what I was going to say.
But
sorry.
I know.
Or a scholar
what the
made
Bible
or
says about the different realms, the spirit realm and the natural realm.
See,
Can I say
that's
something?
So
where.
when Jesus rose from the dead and he appeared to the disciples, and they gave him food, they thought it was a ghost.
See, that's an outlandish claim, though.
They thought it was a ghost.
That's
Wonderful.
an outlandish
That's
claim.
okay. They thought it was a ghost. And that's why Jesus said, well, give me some food. Does a ghost eat? So he sat down and ate with them. He came from another direction. When Jesus appeared in the room, they're in the room, the door's locked. Jesus appears in the room from another dimension. Here we go. Supernatural. Beyond space, time, and matter.
I do love the way the guy
Supernatural.
explains it. I do love the way the
Supernatural.
guy
I
explains
love
it.
the supernatural.
I love
Do
the
we
way he
have-
presents
and the
it, I
spirit
like it.
realm.
Do we have instruments to detect a supernatural?
Do we have instruments to detect supernatural?
Can't at the moment.
Well,
No.
A supernatural instrument.
We don't have
So how do you
instruments
know
as
it's
such.
supernatural?
Because I know that we are more than just physical. We're more than just matter.
is true.
We ourselves are also spiritual.
But he doesn't know we're
We
not.
are spiritual.
He doesn't know we're supernatural, though.
Well, no, but supernatural.
We are- you
That's the
said-
one.
Depends what you define that.
Well, that's what I mean
That's
by
outside the
supernatural.
physics, isn't it?
Yeah,
You
exactly.
said-
That's what I mean by
you
supernatural.
said-
Really?
You
So what's
know-
outside of physics?
Spirit is outside
Oh,
of
what
physics.
the bumbo club.
Yes,
Metaphysics.
spirit, yeah, metaphysics. Of course. We are spirit as well.
But you have
as
to, you
well
can't
as
just
matter.
say these things. You have to demonstrate
Yeah,
it.
demonstrate. Yeah.
Demonstrate in what sense?
No, but he's saying you don't have to.
I can fly.
Can you fly?
Prove it. That's your point, right?
So that's your point.
Invisibly, I will.
Boy, if you do three right now.
So we're trying to say
Can you prove?
Can I prove?
Jesus was
I
resurrected.
don't need to prove.
Don't need
We
to
look at
give
evidence. We look at evidence. When you go
So
to
what
when
evidence
you
have you
go to
got that
court-
Jesus
When you go to a
was
court of law,
resurrected?
the court don't ask you for proof. The court deliberates on evidence.
Yeah,
And
which
then
is
they
what's
come
evidence?
to a
Ain't
conclusion.
evidence proof.
They say, give me proof, give me proof.
Ain't
They look
evidence
at
proof,
evidence.
or it's
Yeah, no,
synonymous?
there's a difference between proof and evidence.
What's the difference?
And I'm saying
What's the
evidence. Evidence is very important.
Proven.
Evidence is very important.
Yeah,
Guilty.
evidence and proof.
Go on.
That's what I
Proven
thought.
guilty.
Based
Based
on
on the
evidence.
reasonable
Evidence.
evidence.
Indeed.
So what
Evidence.
is reasonable
So then you come to a conclusion.
About the resurrection of
about
Christ.
a man dying and resurrecting.
Well, I said there are different ways of looking at it. I said you can look at it from biblical artifacts. You can look at it from biblical prophecy.
Is that an
Do we have an
artifact
artifact
of
for the
Jesus?
resurrection?
Resurrecting.
You can look at evidence for the resurrection. Evidence
is
for
that?
the resurrection.
What is
Look
that?
at it. Look at evidence for the resurrection.
What is that?
That's why people
No,
write.
no, no.
What
What is the evidence
That's
of
why-
a man
that's-
dying and coming back?
That's why you look at the evidence.
Did this man even die?
Did he die?
Was
He did
was
die.
there any?
He died.
Was there a medical examiner?
He
Yeah,
died.
that's right.
We look at the evidence. Did he die? Okay.
Did
The
he exist? No, first you
Did
start
he
at the
exist?
beginning.
No, no.
Did he exist?
Yeah, we know.
We have to start.
We know that he existed.
Really?
We
You know
that
or
he
we
existed.
know?
We know that he existed.
Oh, so you're
We
telling me
believe-
that
we know. We know. We
I
know.
don't know, I
Surely,
know.
surely
know.
if there was,
We
if
know
there was,
he-
if there was
I didn't know I knew.
evidence for something like
I knew. I
You might
didn't know.
believe he exists, but do
Wow.
you know?
No, we have to look at again. Looking at the evidence. That's why.
What's
people-
evidence
well, no,
is
no,
there?
Even if there was
let me
evidence
say,
for it, then you would just call it a
that's-
practice of
that's why-
nature. If there was
That's
sufficient
why
evidence.
That's
people
true,
like
that's true.
lawyers,
Just
like
true.
for
Bring it into
example,
our nature.
That's true.
people
nature.
like Lee Strobel wrote a book, The Case.
Forget all that.
No, no,
Have
no,
you
no,
got
no.
any evidence that
Case
Jesus
of
actually
tonight.
existed?
Of course
In the
we
first
have.
place.
Of course we have. I've already mentioned.
Can you give me the
I've
exact
already
example?
mentioned.
British Museum.
Not just the British Museum. I've looked
Prophecy,
at the Old
prophecy,
Testament.
prophecy.
Yeah, there you go.
There's prophecy that
Yeah,
Jesus
the-
existed.
That the Messiah, of course.
I did say that was
Jesus
No,
existed.
no, no, no. Have you got evidence of Jesus existing?
Jesus existing, yes.
From where?
Okay, look around you, look at time. So it's 2019 years since what?
Yeah, look around you.
2019 years since they said a man who's the son of the God.
Yeah, Son of
But it doesn't
God.
make it true.
No, that
That's
doesn't,
true.
in and of itself, doesn't make it true. But you have to look at the evidence. That's one small part of evidence. I've already said look at prophecy, and you look at the
Yeah, look at prophecy and how the word virgin and the
No, that's
linguistics
just one.
are even
That's
certain.
one. That's just one.
But they're
I
not.
haven't
But you
heard
can't
anything.
do it that
But that's
way
just
because
one.
of the
That's
linguistics.
just one. It tells you that even tells you where the Messiah is going to come from, out of Bethlehem.
But
even tells you
But
that.
that's interpretation from misinterpretation.
It's not misinterpretation
How do we?
at all.
So
A
you
young
said you
woman
spoke. You
is
said
gonna
you
give
spoke
birth to a
Hebrew.
child.
You said you spoke Hebrew.
No. I said use the Hebrew word.
Oh,
Like, use
okay.
the Hebrew word.
But we would have to be able to do that. We'd have to be able to speak the Hebrew.
We can do.
We have to be able
We
to
can
speak.
do. I mean, in this day and
in
age,
Greek,
in this day and age,
Coptic.
you have it there at your fingertips. At your fingertips. There's no
Right.
excuse.
And-
you can press the button. You can get that word. You can press that button and get. This is what the meaning
And
is.
yet the consensus is.
The consensus is
And
what?
yet the consensus is that there's no sufficient evidence for Jesus Christ, but it can be accepted that there might have been a rabbi or would have been a rabbi who was anti-establishment
as you
at the
said
time.
earlier.
But to say
In what way was
that's
he
not a problem.
anti-establishment?
So that's not a
But in
problem.
what way was
to
he
say that
anti-establishment?
he's the son of God,
Yes.
God, and walks on water and all them kind
Yes.
that's that's going too far.
Outlandish.
Outlandish. What do you mean by outlandish? Supernatural? Because yeah, he wasn't
As far as
bound.
we
He
know, it's
wasn't
supernatural.
bound by space, time, and matter.
But then you'll have
Okay.
to show me something.
He proved what he did.
Is there something
by the-
else that
by
you
the
could show
miracles.
that also
You
was-
look at the evidence of Jesus. You're talking about the existence of Jesus. You look at the evidence of Jesus.
So we look at the evidence for something we don't know exists.
No, you need to explore the evidence of the life of Christ and who he
Which
is.
we don't
for
know
yourself.
exists yet.
We know that he
No,
exists.
we don't know.
You know,
So we have to
the
look at
evidence is
something.
overwhelming that there is a man called Jesus approximately
you?
2,000 years ago. Not just for me. The evidence is overwhelming.
If the evidence is overwhelming, why don't you just fling it out? Why don't you just get it out?
No, you need to do your homework yourself. You need to look at evidence for
So
yourself.
what I'm saying is true, but I'm not going to show you. You need to go and find it
You
yourself.
need to look for yourself.
The burden
What
of
makes you
proof.
think I looked?
Yeah, you need
What
to
makes
look
you
for
think I haven't
yourself.
looked?
If you come to the conclusion that we don't know that Christ existed, then you haven't looked. You haven't looked and searched sincerely for the evidence.
You did it wrong. I've
You did it wrong.
Actually,
I
no.
have looked seriously.
How did you know?
No.
Maybe I've done it wrong then.
Okay.
But I need your help then.
Then you need to be sincere. That's why I go back to what I said earlier. You need to be
How
sincere.
do I
You know-
show you that I'm sincere in order for you to help?
You need to be sincere.
Huh?
You need to be sincere and want the truth. That's what you need to do.
You just
I have to go, man. I have to go. Take care.
Charles.
Oh, man. See you soon. Take care.
Nice speaking with you. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you.
At least he talks well, man.
Yeah, no, this guy's all right. I like him. This guy's all right.
You're not still in
Nice
person.
You know what? It has been a nice conversation. Nice
All
nice
right,
to
it's
meet
good,
you.
man. It was
Nice to
great.
meet you. Nice to meet you.
Tiger.
Have a nice evening,
Yeah,
all right? Take care.
All right.
I love it.
What time is it now? You know what? Isn't that back to work? God take over everything from your belly.
Man, say it straight. Man, don't listen to BBC. Man, don't listen to ITV. Listen.
No violence, no violence.
Hey, tell me what was let me get in there.
Don't call me Tommy.
And I love it.
And your evidence for that is.
I love the fact that
And your evidence for that is. Just your opinion. All right, cool, fine. I got opinion too. Like assholes, isn't it? Everyone's got one.
You made an accusation of him. Would you then say when you refer to black people as chimps, you're being anti-black?
No, I refer to everyone as chimps.
Yeah, but he has done it as well on real.
We're all chimps. We're all chimps. We're all chimps. What did he say?
So hang on, but I'm trying to get this.
like
though. I'm trying to get this.